Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's our live Football Friday, October the 4th. Victor King with me today, Marc Lawrence. Technical kind of difficulties. I think you might have heard a slight hurricane maybe passed through, and Marc could not be with us today. He's all right, but we got some other things. He's got some other things got to take care of with staff and stuff with his guys there. So we're wishing all of them the best of luck. But me and Victor will hold down the fort today,
right?
Which is I'll get to our nice. We are 10-5 on our Football Fridays, 2-1 last week. Before I get to that, again, this is our free pick live show. We have free pick videos daily during the week. Me, Chip Drimus, Doug Upstone, Paul Bovey, Tim Feist, Doug Upstone, a plethora, Matt Fargo, Brian Biller, daily, Monday to Thursday, free pick, multiple free pick videos. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us all a follow on the Twitter X world, whatever. I'd always be Twitter to me. I'm not Xing out things. That seems weird. You tweet it out. It seems normal. Hey, what are you doing? I was tweeting. What are we doing? I'm Xing things out. You think you're erasing things if you're it's Twitter. Please, for the love of God. But if you want the premium stuff, here you go. gamblersworld.net, 3 730 packages, all guaranteed to show you a profit or we credit you back, and you go at it again. We have a leaderboard. You see how we do. It's all right there for you. Depending on your screen. It could be black and white. It could be blue and black. It could be orange. I don't know what kind of color tint you have on your fonts, but it's right there for you to see. We don't hide from the records. We don't go in there and dilly-dally. Win, lose, always the truth from us. Now, it's a great time to get on board because I'm going to do this. Watch this, folks. You'll be very excited. Boom. Buy 3, get a day free. So it's a 4-day sale. I don't know. Call me crazy. I think this works out for a weekend of football.
Mm-hmm.
You like college football? You can get it today. Friday night football, Saturday, and Sunday. You want to wait till the Monday night action? You get it on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But you get the 4-day free. So how about that? You get all of it in 4 days. That's a 4 days. It's not just a 3-day where you got to pick and choose what you like. No. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All for the price of 3 days. Go get it. And if it doesn't show a profit, folks, you get a credit back. I mean, how do you go wrong with that? You don't. Make the smart money move. Use a little bit of common sense. I know it's a lost trait these days. You get a free day, and it's guaranteed. I don't know. Seems simple enough for me. But then again, I don't know. Victor, my friend, how are you?
Great. Very, very good, Sean. You mentioned the premium stuff, the 3, the 7, the 30-day packages. We were fortunate. Our service last weekend in college football, 2-0 in our college football totals plays. Friday night, Miami and Virginia Tech over the total, an easy winner. We came back on Saturday night with another over the total winner in the Boise State, Washington State game. 2 very, very exciting overs. And then we did wrap up our weekend. We hit the 5-star NFL game of the month. It was on over the total in the Commanders-Cardinals game. They combined for 56. This was our King Creole premium stuff, the stuff we release on the day of the games. We want to thank everybody who joined us for a wonderful over-under weekend. And I know Marc's not here today. He's extremely busy with the newsletter stuff. But I got to point out that last weekend, Marc went a perfect 6-0 in his combined college and NFL plays. On Saturday, his 5-star game of the month was on Kentucky, the outright underdog win against Ole Miss.
Nice.
Came back with North Carolina and then Alabama against Georgia in that big, very exciting night game that Alabama almost gave away. Georgia almost came all the way back and, in fact, took a very late lead in that game.
A little sweat there.
Our boy Jalen Milroe found another deep pass to get the win. Marc came back on Sunday. 4-star Baltimore Ravens, 3-star Jacksonville Jaguars, 3-star Indianapolis Colts. He did go a perfect 6-0 on Saturday and Sunday, so you do not want to be missing Marc's plays this weekend. And while on the subject, Sean, I do follow the Midday Money Show, the show that you just did and that you do throughout the week. And somebody's been really, really hot in college football on your Midday Money picks. You may want to expound on that.
Oh,
yeah. Those have been fantastic numbers, buddy.
What about I look at 19-5?
Yeah.
And most of those are premium picks too, as well. So we've talked about this before. When they give like a free pick, I know a lot of times we do different videos. It's tough to, we try to emphasize like free picks and premiums. But a lot of times when I jump into a free pick, I'm trying to find an angle. I end up using it. I just do, and I'll try not to put that in a package. It'll be on the site. Like for me, you're better off getting some kind of weekend pass because I'm going to have 10 or 12 games up, So, and a lot of times the free games are, if you watch the show, you hear me say it like, hey, baseball is, I'm down a little bit in the chat, but on the site, I'm having a good year on the sites with baseball. I'm like, some of the networks I'm on, I'm number 3, number 4 overall. So it's weird. It's tough. Like I say, picking and choosing for free picks, but I'm having a good college football season. And I don't really hype up my stuff. I'm just like, it's matter of fact. Like I expect the games to win, whether I'm 2 games or 40. I don't care what happens. It's a win. It's a win till I wake up the next day and I look at the account where I'm at. Okay, well, it's a new day, but not a bad run though. College football. I can't complain about college football. And I do have 2 packages up already for Saturday. 2 3-packs up. We got some earlier stuff and late stuff. So go get the 3-packs or you get a pass. It's cheaper than buying individual. Again, folks, use the coupon. I don't understand. I just got a $20 off for the little Kroger's or my order. I'm going to use it. I'm not going to throw away $20. Neither should you. Come on. But I don't understand that. That's a whole nother show. Besides the show about using the coupons and breaking down free picks and premium picks and chili, what's in the Wendy's chili, we can do. There's a whole lot to talk about. We can just do a show on your shirt too.
It's time for the tiki bar. I
got to find a more festive shirt to have. Although the one day I did throw on I do have a Hawaiian sort of one, but nothing as fun as that. I got to get some more colors in it.
You mentioned Wendy's chili also, Sean. Last night for my family, it was delicious Italian sausage and pepper sandwiches.
Okay.
And since we are on the subject of hot dogs, you got to talk about how hot the dogs have been in pro football this season. Now, on the blind through 4 weeks, NFL underdogs are 35, 28, 2 ATS, 55%. Nothing major. However, man, oh man, it's been those longer dogs. I love that foot-long hot dog, foot-long chili cheese hot dog. The long dogs of +5.5 or more in the NFL already. 17, 2, and 1 ATS on the season. 89%. You heard it. 17, 2, and 1 for the long dogs. Last week, what do you got here? You've got Jacksonville, who covered against Houston. You got Denver, who got the outright win against the Jets. You got the Chargers, who basically tied. The only long dog who did not cover was the New England Patriots. In fact, if you remove the Patriots from this long dog 17 and 2 and 1 ATS, it's got a perfect 15-0 and 1 ATS if you remove the Patriots. Guess what? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 8 more of these long dogs going this week. You got to be careful when laying significant points, particularly in the first couple of months of the season, man.
I'm looking at some of these now because, and as much as I do take dogs, you just can't blindly do dogs, which is why I'm a couple games under 500 because when I have a favorite, I lose. Like I'm not gonna lie, Jets last week. Why would I know Mark was like in the Broncos that spot. They already had one as an outright long dog in Tampa.
Right.
To go back to back with a rookie on the road. I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. I'm gonna go with the veteran team, the Jets, kind of finding their groove a little bit. Extra rest on top of it. Loser. Not meant to be. Not meant to be. I'm scuffling in the NFL. My dogs, I got the dogs that don't win. I got the faves that don't cover. I'm just, that's where I'm at through September. But I get that. Like I do that often. The one year I had like 65% NFL, 64%. It was just the dogs. It was like a mad rush. Like the kennel opened and they were just running down the street. And it started in September and it just carried on. Now it has not been that way, but that's all right. I'm not worried about it. It corrects and we move on. And move on we will. Although Mark is not with us today, he did leave a email for his game. He's got Miami New England game today. And I'm kind of shocked he took Miami in this one. Small little dog here against the Patriots, right? I mean, it's not this game to me was like, wow, I was thinking you got a second game of Tyler Huntley, little desperation mode now. You got to come in here. He likes Miami as well. It's a pick 'em. He says for the first time all season, Miami will have a lead. I tend to agree with him here because this is really make or break for Miami here, right? I mean, as Mark's good friend, Bob Dylan, he likes to quote him, you can't do something forever, Miami, right? So you're going to have to start scoring and winning some games here and getting a lead. So in honor of Bob Dylan and Marc Lawrence, I'm going to say Mark's pick today, Miami Dolphins. They get a lead during the game. You can't do something forever, not lead in the game. They will do it. And Mark tends to agree with Bob Dylan. Miami Dolphins is Marc Lawrence's pick today. Official show pick, he came in. So that'll go towards our record here. Your thoughts on this game?
A lot of Mark's plays require what he calls their clothespin plays, where sometimes you got to put a little clothespin on your nose before you pull the trigger. And he's usually very successful with those plays. I know how terrible they looked on Monday night against Tennessee. Horrific. I bet the Dolphins in that game myself.
I had them.
They did not look good in that game. So, again, it's going to require you probably putting a clothespin on. We will see. Let's say this, though. The Patriots have been pretty much the Dolphins' whipping boys as of late. The last 7 meetings, the Dolphins have gone a perfect 7-0 against the spread against New England. So at least they've got a little bit of series history on their side in this particular game. I'll just throw in there, a lot of people are betting in the under in the game. I'm one of them. I'm going to throw a few dollars on the under. And again, it has to do with the fact that the point spread in the game is as low as it is. What are we at? 36.5 to 37. We have got let me see here, divisional games, 37 or less, now 2-14 to the under since 2019. So even though the line is as low as it is, it could be a battle of field goals. And I will be joining Mark with that Miami play, but also throwing a few dollars on what everybody thinks is going to be a pretty low-scoring game up there in New York.
Yeah, 36 I see at one spot. Basically 36.5 all over. But I'm with you. It's a desperation kind of game. Hold your nose. No matter what side you take there, I guess you're kind of holding your nose. But the bloom is off the rose, though, for Miami, coach. That's for sure. It's has not been good. Has not been good. You got a little matchup here. Buffalo Bills, Houston Texans. Bills a small little fave here, 1. Total of 47, high total, which, you kind of expect, right? Texans at home. Everybody loved C.J. Stroud last year's pride and joy. Here comes Josh Allen led Buffalo off we talk about a stinker in Miami. Buffalo kind of laid an egg there as well on their primetime game on Sunday night. I don't know at this one. Like, it's easy to think like, hey, Bills bounce back, but, Texans at home, again, a lot of hype on these guys, but here comes a tougher schedule. And the team in Buffalo, I could chalk up a bad loss. It's a good team. It was a spot. You just came off a Monday night game where you won by 36, 37 points. Everybody's like, wow, these guys look indestructible. Ravens off the game, we talked about it. Gave up a bunch of points late to Dallas. Last time at home, they gave up the 10-point lead in the fourth quarter of Raiders. Nobody's really believing in them. I could take that loss. That seemed to fit in. Now I think it's time to zig it back over here, zag it over to Buffalo as a small road fave. But your pick, I don't want to, you're going to come in with your stuff, so I don't want to talk too much on it. But Bills, Texans.
Right. And I also see that our very first comment of the day from Ray was in regards to the total in this game, currently at 47 to 47.5. And I'm not going to touch the full game total right now, Ray, but I am going to still bet the over in this game. And for us, it's going to be over the total in the first half of this game. And we can get in right now at 23.5, and that's key. I say that because 24 is a key number. Think of all the different scoring combinations that can have a game finishing right on 24 points in the first half. You got scores like, 17-7 or 14-10, common NFL scores. Now, it shouldn't be too tough for the Bills to get their points in this particular game. After all, they're averaging 30.5 points per game on offense in the first month of play, second highest, including 17.8 points per game in the first half of their games. They're only averaging about 12 points per game in the second half of their games. So if you're going to be playing Bills overs, first half is definitely the way to go. Not only that, but Buffalo is one of only 3 teams in the NFL that has gone a perfect 4-0 to the over in their first half of their games this season. The other 2 teams who have done this are the Dallas Cowboys and the Carolina Panthers. Again, in their first 4 games of the season, in the first half, Buffalo, 4 overs, 0 unders. And I know it doesn't seem ideal. They just came off a 35-10 shellacking last Sunday night to Baltimore. But with that said, what I call a positive points regression is in order for the Bills. Scoring a few more points than odds makers anticipate based on that 10-point showing the previous week. And you can even say that for the Texans as well. A positive points regression is in store. They have not eclipsed 24 points since week 1 of the season. The Houston Texans, a team that was supposed to have one of the most dynamic offenses in the NFL, has actually gone under the total now in 3 consecutive games. Again, the timing is right for a high-scoring first half when it comes to the Texans. They're a higher point producer, number 1, in their home games. They went 7-3 to the over in the first half of their home games last season. That's 70% over the total. They've already gone a perfect 2-0 to the over in their 2 home games this season. So, again, right now, responding to Ray, our first comment, we're going to hold off on the full game total, but the value in this game, particularly if you can find a 23.5, is first half over the total, Buffalo versus Houston, 23.5 in what should be a first half shootout and what might be a full game shootout.
Official show pick, Football Friday, Victor King, over first half. I'm actually logging in one second. I see what I got the total out here. 23.5.
Good.
Bills, Texans, first half, 23.5 over the total.
It opened 22.5. It's gone up to 23.5. What's the next logical step? It'll probably hit 24 by Sunday game day. So again, if you can find a 23.5, Sean, get it in now, my friend.
I'm doing it right now. 220 for 2 hundos here
go,
on
man.
This one. There we go. We're gonna take it. So I said, you know what? Let's ride the total out here. And I tend to agree with it. It's like you coming off a game like that, they haven't Texans really haven't exploded, right? Because that was the team. Like, oh, look at this offense. They're going to be awesome. I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. What do we got here? Someone just told me under UNLV tonight would be worth a look. 56. That's down to 55 already. Well, that's what happens. All right, my game up here. The New York Giants. The little Giants, these guys, versus the Seattle Seahawks. This Seattle team, who's showing up here with Seattle? Is this going to be the team that actually showed up against Miami 24-3, right? Nice little defense there. Last week, 42 points. I had Seattle in the over last week, so I ended up with a split. Crazy kind of game there, but the Giants are definitely not the Detroit Lions. They out of their 4 games, they haven't scored a touchdown in 2 of their 4 years. Half of their games. Small sample size, that's a month, but you only play like 4 months of football. So that's a problem for the Giants here. I expect, as we were just talking about with Victor here, he's talking about a points we need a regression for more points. Well, I'm going for a regression of when you get totally and thoroughly embarrassed on football in a Monday night game and the team runs like 80 plays on you up and down the field and you're giving up 40-something points, no matter who you are, you're going to kind of circle the wagons during the week. The coach is going to get on your butt a little bit. That's not going to be allowed. I'm going to look at the under in this game, 43.5. Bad performance. Short week. Here come the Giants with no offense. I mean, this is a team that lost to Washington, and they didn't allow a touchdown. How good is your team when you don't allow a touchdown and you lose games, Victor? Give me the under here, 43.5. You saw this on Dallas. Even with extra rest, that only helps the defense. Maybe you get a little squirrely a bit on offense, but you're facing a team that's just embarrassed on national TV. 20-15, 21-15, 21-8, and then 28-6. How is this remotely in the mid 40s? I do not get it. This should have been like a 41, 42.5 opener, maybe 43.5. No, thank you. I think this game will come down as well. Give me the under show pick, 43.5 Giants and Seattle.
I like it, Sean. Hey, look at the game flow. You got a huge favorite in Seattle. New York's number one most impactful player will be sitting this one out. I'm talking about rookie Malik Neighbors with the concussion. He will not be playing for New York. This is one of those games where Seattle should do everything it can to get out to that big double-digit lead and just run the hell out of the ball in the second half and get the hell out of there with an easy win. And I say that because they got a big one coming up Thursday night, division game, San Francisco.
3-point
So
dogs.
they do everything they can to make this a business-like, final score of 24-10.
Yes.
Get the hell out of there. Prepare for the Niners next Thursday. I'm with you.
And you got two running backs in Walker and Charbonneau or whoever. They could run the ball. They can run it. Milk that clock. Churn and burn. Under. I've already got Seattle for next week for Thursday +3 there. What is that? That's a 3-point dog there versus the Niners. I don't know. I'll take my home dog in divisional matchup. A team that could run the ball. I'll take it. Anyway, we'll talk about that during the week. That'll be talked about during the week shows. But official show pick here for me, Seattle Giants under 43.5. Victor is going first half over 23.5. Texans, Bills, Marc Lawrence, Miami Dolphins getting into the win column versus the Patriots. Those are the free picks. Again, we're talking premium stuff early in the show. We have college football up for Saturday, NFL up for Sunday. Go get it at gamblersworld.net. 3 738 packages guaranteed there. Show you credit. You go back and buy it if we don't win for you. There you go. And also the 3 for 4 is up. Get it today. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. All your football needs covered in one low price. Go get it. Make the smart money move. Or long term. There you go. $7.99 college and NFL packages are up there. But the 4-day, it's guaranteed for the love of God. Anyway. All right. So we mentioned Roy's chat, right? He got the Giants and the under in the Bills game. You talked about that. I guess we kind of point him towards the Giants there with your little hot dog take on the +6. You got extra rest. You got a team on a short week themselves in Seattle. The 6 probably worth it because Seattle's going to, like you said, they're going to want to run.
Right.
Kind of get out of here healthy. We're favored. Who cares if we win by 4? It could be 24-20 or I don't want 24-20. That hurts my total. But something along those kind of low-scoring game, 2016, you get a cover. I get it. Dolphins, he does not like that game. It's all right. You don't have to bet them all.
Right. And you know what? We can't always like every game that we bet either.
Yes. If big dogs like Houston as a little home dog there, I don't know about that. I think it's step up the class. This is last year, no one knew Houston. Now you've got a whole book on Houston and you see how teams are playing them. It's a little different.
It's the ultimate pick 'em game. Yeah, I don't see any value at if you're going to bet it, you may as well just bet the money line.
Real fast, Victor. You talked about betting a game, you don't have to bet it. And I say this all the time. you come in, right? You're doing your homework on all the games, right? You guys do the playbook. You got your tip sheets to go through them all. You can conceivably kind of probably come, if you work hard enough, you can probably find something on every side and total you want to bet on. But folks, you're not going to, that'll be a stressful, if we didn't shave our heads, he'd be pulling out his beard hair. You can't do that. Just because you can find that you don't know. No. The game should jump off of the table, the page, as you're looking at the lines ahead of time. And those are the ones you get into. And then it gets narrowed down. Don't have to bet them all. The Ninja's in the house. Who does he have as the most overrated team in football? This is Mr. Overrated here, Ninja. Why they honor Matt Ryan last night? Because he blew a 28-3 lead and lost. Then his team record got beat by Cousins in one night. He did not blow that lead. That was Mr. Shanahan blew that game.
Right.
Like he blew the Super Bowl versus the Chiefs.
You blame
the first time around.
Yes.
You're up double digits against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. You blew it. You're up double digits against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. You blew it. He blew a Super Bowl versus the Chiefs last year. Up again. Matt Ryan was not the problem. It was the coach. Matt Shanahan called the plays. Or
calling too many second half passing plays. When you got a big lead like that, you're trying to milk out the clock. And I don't know why they didn't run the ball in those games. But, yeah, you cannot blame Matt Ryan for that.
Total different trajectory. If he would have called the right plays, he's a Super Bowl winner there. He's a Super Bowl winner with the Chiefs. Not one time, 2 times. He's got 3 rings, beating Brady and Mahomes twice. He's a terrible coach when it comes down to getting down nitty-gritty. You can go 13-3 or whatever the heck they do every year, winning a bunch of games. He's choked in championship games on double-digit leads, conference championships, Super Bowls. It's not Matt Ryan's fault. Not Matt Ryan's fault. It's not. No. I don't even like Matt Ryan. It's not like I'm related to the guy. I'm just saying. Shanahan's terrible. Ninja. Seattle's got a brutal schedule. Play Monday night, Sunday against Giants, and then a short week Thursday game. Who schedules that? Well, you think that's bad? Just wait till you see Christmas week when the team plays Sunday and then plays on Wednesday. You'll love that one. You'll love that one, Ninja.
Or a team like the Jacksonville who plays 2 games across the ocean in a row on consecutive weeks and chooses not to have a bye after that 2-day travel period. That's even in a worse scheduling spot, if you ask me. But, Sean, while we're on the point, I mean, we may as well talk about we got NFL action starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Sunday morning. You want to talk about a long day across the pond? The International Series is back. Now, actually, it's the second game of the season because, remember, in week 1, there was an international game in Brazil.
Yes.
A high-scoring Packers-Eagles game on what was a sloppy, choppy, slippery field. They still accounted for big-time yardage and a lot of points, over 60 in that game, which was kind of surprising. So there you go. The international games have started off 2024 with 1 over. With that said, we're going to point this out, Sean. Last season in the NFL, the 5 international games, all 5 of them ended up going under the total. And a very, very low 33.2 combined points per game. So let's keep that in mind when we think of playing the total in this game, which I believe is right around 40 as the Jets take on the Vikings at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. One final note, I know the games were low scoring last year. The international games played at this venue, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, like this week's games, have actually been slightly higher scoring than the traditional international games. They've played 8 games all time in this venue and average combined points 48.1. Again, it's something that should be put in perspective if you're thinking of betting the total at 40.0, is that the games in this stadium have actually been pretty high scoring, 5 overs, 3 unders, an average of 48.1 points per game.
I'm not like we talked about. I'm not a fan of the old international. I know they want to put a team in England. I don't know why you don't put Jacksonville over there. Go ahead. They're terrible. I think. Speaking of Jacksonville, I think the coaches can by their bye week at this rate. I don't know what to do with Trevor Lawrence. You got him locked into a huge contract. Maybe trade him back to it's over, right? I mean, the guy is 2-11. 2-9. What was his record his last 30 games?
Oh, Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, 2-11.
I do know that at the quarterback, he's lost 9 consecutive games in a row dating back to November of last season. And you're right about this. They could fire the coach as early as this week if they do not beat the Colts.
Right.
And Sean, you know who I hear in Jacksonville? Bill Belichick, new head coach.
Well, what's he gonna do? So like he get reunited with Mac Jones and bring in the guy who who's going to be his coordinator down there? I mean, you put a punt instructor as his coordinator last time, Bill.
You know,
I think Mac Jones was like, that's nice, Bill, but you know what? I'm just going to retire for a year and come back and let somebody else pick me up.
You know that a head coach has lost the locker room when he says, "I haven't lost the locker room."
It's over down there. It's and the fact that they're a 3-point rate, they're 3-point favorites this week. Oh, it's off the board now. Why is it off the board?
Probably the fact that we don't know if Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco will be going for Indianapolis.
Give me Flacco. I'll take Flacco on a
Hey,
run.
no shit. What he did for Cleveland last year and that big underdog win against the Steelers, that was a lot on his shoulders last week as well for Indianapolis, in which a lot of us sharps were on. Remember that. We talked about that game, the fact that Pittsburgh, not a good road favorite, and all us Indianapolis backers. Now, we, of course, we had to grit our teeth a little bit there at the end. I think the final score was 27-24.
Yeah.
But a good win, nevertheless, for the sharp money.
I said to take the Colts to win the division. I said everyone's the Texans this year were the Jaguars last year. Remember, it was like the Jags are going to give the KC Chiefs a run. That's Houston. I'm like, I'm not. Give me some plus money on the Colts. And Richardson, I'm so strong, but I knew they had Flacco, so he could come in and pull the old Minshew magic out of the hat as well. Ray. Liking the Rams +3, Arizona +7 as well. Thoughts? The Ram game to me, it looks like a spot, right? They looked really bad. Do you think they come in and win here and a bounce back on the spot? I don't know. I prefer the total myself. I mean, Green Bay, they were down 28-0 and scored a bunch. That's a misleading kind of offense. So that's that. I would lean under. Sidewise, though, I do like Arizona a little because I'm kind of down on the Niners. I think it's taken a toll of going deep and a lot of hype and no McCaffrey. I get it, but I don't know. I don't know if that San Fran train is going to get to the championship game as you know what I'm saying? Victor was like, it just seems like every year they're supposed to go 13-3, 14-4 and be the best. That's a grind. I mean, you could lose a couple games like this and still get where they want to be. So I don't know if I want to lay 7. Definitely don't want to take the Rams are a banged up unit.
I'd much prefer Arizona at the +7 than the Rams at +3, although it appears to be some sharp money coming in on the home dog Rams in that game as well.
Yeah.
You mentioned the total. You're not going to get an argument out of me, particularly if the line gets up to 49 or higher. And I know that's close to where we're at right now in that game. 48.5. There's even some 49s.
How did this open in like 47 and a half? Like, I'm like, what?
Well, they're looking at that Green Bay game last week, 32-29 against Minnesota. They're looking at the fact that the Rams have a historically bad defense through the first 4 weeks of the season. But again, I'll say this, 49 or higher in the NFL has been the kiss of death for over-bettors. Since late in the 2022 season, we're talking about a year and a half now, NFL games of 49 or higher have gone 7 overs, 27 unders. So again, that puts the big caution sign out there for anybody thinking of going over the total in any NFL game this weekend with a line of 49 or higher. That would be the Ravens-Bengals game. That would be the Cardinals-49ers game. Yep. And that would be the Packers-Rams game if it gets up to a consensus 49 or higher.
Yep. Those are the three. Ninja says Costco hot dogs have the best value. $1.50, you can't beat it.
Oh, they're great, man.
I don't like the bread. You bite into it, it's like there's a bunch of crap falling off. If I get on the way out when I'm packing up the car, if I want to sit in the truck and eat it, it's like I got crap all over me. I'm like, I got to stand up and shake it off my shirt before I drive. I don't want that nonsense. I can't do that. I'll just take that giant beef and just eat it in my hand. I'll throw the bread out at the the birds eat it or something.
A hot dog bun has to be toasted if you're going to get a good structure there. Otherwise, like you say, the hot dog makes the bottom of the bun a little bit wetter. It falls apart. Like you say, it's got to be toasted.
I was just saying, because you were talking about throwing cheese and chili and stuff on top of it. Man, I'm just like a maybe kraut. I can do some sauerkraut. If it depends. If I'm really hungry, there's no kraut because I'm just going to eat basically a cold dog. I'll just eat it right out of the little.
Well, you're a German guy, aren't you, Sean? You like your sauerkraut? So do I.
I can do a little kraut. I don't. I'm not a big chili.
Gut.
No chili. So get this. So I used to call my little. So about German. I used to call my little blanket as a baby. Like it was like when I started talking, I called it an aha or like a fra, and fra in German is blanket.
There you go.
How bizarre is that? And I had like Irish parents, so nobody was speaking German, but that's another story we could tell about being adopted and how that's weird. As like a little baby, maybe like my whatever granny on the birth mother side was talking fras and ahas or some nonsense. I don't know. Rams going to get smashed, says Ninja. Not a fan of the Rams, apparently. They got some problems. They always do. They always have some kind of injury problem, the Rams. What is going on out there? Cardinals going to get beat down worse than the commies beat them.
Well, that is if you knee jerk based on last week's result, then of course you're going to feel that way. Losing at home by 28 points as a home favorite, sure, but you don't want a knee jerk. It's actually the other way around.
Yes.
Those are the teams that you play on in the next week.
Ninjas should know better from watching the show. It's never what you just saw. Wow, Washington just won at Cincinnati, rookie quarterback on the road. It's a fade spot coming in. They got back-to-back road games for rookie quarterbacks. Well, you know what? Jaden Daniels comes in and puts a beating on Arizona, and Bo Nix goes on the road twice, and in the sloppy contest beats Aaron Rodgers, throwing for 52 yards.
Right, and conversely, it's the same thing in regards to the Washington-Cleveland game this week. Everybody's going to want to load up on the Commanders at home, laying a short number against Cleveland. We'll tell you again from the database that the play in the game is to play the underdog or to lay off. You don't want to be laying points with a team that's off a road dog win of 28 or more like Washington is.
No.
Now, I know how banged up Cleveland is. We know how hurt they are. It's definitely a hold your nose play. For me, I'm not betting the game at all. But if you do it, you've got to consider the dog in that game.
I got Washington at +1 on the early lines from last week before the game Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Now -3, it changes the aspect of it.
Well,
you
just took 4 points of value for yourself. Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, does that work out? No.
Not always, but value is value.
And that's why I'm like, you know what? It's been a rough September, but they have to. It just I'm sure the numbers of it. I have to get to 50% because I'm under 50% right now. Like they have to start working out to the plus side, getting good numbers. Gavin, how do you guys feel about the Steelers Sunday Night Football -2? You gotta love it, -2. I mean, come on, the Steelers. How terrible are the Steelers? Do you want to lay points with the Steelers? I don't ever want. We talked about it last week. They were favored. Like you don't want to lay points with the Steelers, but yet here they are over big bad Dallas. Everybody thinking, oh, Dallas got offensive. I'm a Cowboy fan. They got offensive line problems. They have no running backs. I might take a flight up there, see if I'll come in for a couple plays. There's no difference between me and Zeke. We're two fat guys that are past our prime. What are we doing here, Dallas? Lay it with the Steelers. I do not care. And here's another total that's out of control. How is this a 44? What am I missing here with Justin Fields in that offense? The Steelers have a defense, no matter who the quarterback is. It could be Tommy Maddox. It could be Bubby Brister. They're not going to give up a bunch of points. How is this a 44, Victor?
It's one of the more confusing totals I've seen this week because it's actually gone up. It opened at around 42, and all of a sudden it's up to 44 in a game in which it could be weather impacted there in Pittsburgh on Sunday night. We could get some rain there as well. Neither offense is anything to write home about.
There's
something up there I don't know whether it's sharp money on the over or what, but it's really got me scratching my head why that line is actually going up.
I get Parsons is probably out, right? He's out.
Yeah, and they put
And
Lawrence on the 4-week IR. Yeah.
So I get that, but have you seen the rest of the? Well, I mean, just because the guy's out does what's that? That's not next. That's to me, it's like the next man up. It's not, especially with the superstar. Someone else has got to be like, all right, I want to prove myself today. Michael Parsons is definitely a different maker. I'm not saying he's not. 2 points. He's 2 points on that team.
Dallas has no running game to speak of whatsoever. Their number 2 wide receiver is now out. There's going to be no Brandon Cooks in the game. You think Pittsburgh's going to double or triple team CD Lamb in the game? Where are the points going to come from?
And Watt's going to just abuse their left tackle.
Yeah.
That guy looked horrendous on or Thursday night. I don't know. It's Sam Darnold revenge game versus the Jets, my guy.
I like the angle. The angle.
No ghosts on the field there. Sam Ninja, I had Sam Darnold, a comeback player, did it last year. And, of course, I didn't do it this year when I probably should have. I'm like, man, rookie quarterback McCarthy. This guy, he produces. And it just goes to show you the Jets could draft quarterbacks. Him, Geno Smith. I'm going to the grave. I can't wait till Zach Wilson gets in there and throws for 27 touchdown passes, boy. That would be great.
Here, I've got some numbers. In fact, since that is the international game, the favorites, Minnesota is now what, 2.5 point favorite in the game?
Yeah, 2.5 point favorite.
The
From
favorites
they were a dog.
International game favorites, 34-10 straight up, 30-15 ATS all time, 67%. The favorites in the international games, that would be the Vikings, a team who's 4-0 straight up in ATS this year, who's 4-0 straight up in ATS in the first half of games this year, who's 4-0 straight up in ATS in the first quarter of games this year, and who's also gone 4-0 to the over in their team totals. On offense, they have exceeded expectations in all 4 games. There's a lot of good numbers on Minnesota in that game against the Jets.
It's crazy what a little coaching change can do to a team.
Yeah.
Not to get on Barry Odom and UNLV, but look at that team. He came in last year, you think he's a decent coach. He was a decent ACC coach. Nothing sexy, but he did what he had to do in that conference. He had bigger programs that were kind of dwarfing him. Comes here, you think, all right, maybe he'll kind of be decent down the road. Last year, out of the blue, they were getting into a bowl. This year, quarterback leads. That's all right. Who cares? See you guys. Everybody else screw that guy. We're going to go out and put 40 up on Fresno or whoever they played. These guys, Minnesota, you got a coach and a coordinator? Hello. They might win a division. Everybody's penciling in the Lions. Maybe these guys are for real.
You mentioned you did mention UNLV, and they were in a position where they could have really, really tanked things once Matthew Sluka said, "Hey, I'm out of here."
Yeah,
you didn't do what you were supposed to do in terms of our NIL money and all that, and I'm getting the hell out of here. But give credit to Barry Odom and his staff. That second string guy looked fantastic. UNLV is now in the AP top 25 for the first time ever. And they've got an exciting, of course, Friday night game this evening that you mentioned.
The funny thing is, he's thinking they didn't give me my money. I could go somewhere else. Because that's how he's chirping. And I'm like, oh, come over here. We'll give you more money. And then the next game that you're not there, they drop a 40 piece. It wasn't even close. It was out of the gate. It was 30-0. The first, it was a 30-0 first quarter. But you get the gist of it. It was not even close. It was on from the kickoff. I'm sure his no money probably took a little dip after that. Patriots Dolphins is a 1-800 gambler game, he says. There's a lot of those this year. NFL is not a great product. If Debo's playing, take the Niners. If he sits, take the other teams. You can fact check that trend.
Right. And if you think that scoring is back up to its regular parameters in the NFL after a 66-point Thursday night game, very exciting, I might add, think again. So it's not just one Thursday night game that's going to turn us all into big-time over-bettors. It's still been a low-scoring NFL first month of the season. Again, folks, you're watching us, as always, Winner Circle YouTube channel. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Drop comments. If you're on the X, you can comment on X through, I think you click on the picture and then you can comment, or you come to the YouTube channels. Comment there. Let's go. And, of course, gamblersworld.net is our sponsor, so be sure to follow that. Plenty of free picks there for you.
Doug Upstone goes daily articles there as well for look ahead lines. He does a little look ahead line thing for articles there. So free picks and premium picks on the gamblersworld.net website. The truth. I don't know if this guy likes the Tigers. Kirk Cousins was so good last night. I really think the Atlanta team can be a dark horse in the NFC. I don't think they're a dark horse because this is a team that was thought to win the division, right? I mean, they're not priced as dark horses. They're priced as a team that brought in a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback. I mean, the guy got some for like 100 touchdowns the last 3 years. It's not like he's some fluky kind of guy. Cousins is a real quarterback. But the thing with them being a dark horse in the NFC is it was always about the Lions and the Niners, and then below them you had the Eagles, and then it was what else is there. Now, they're going to come out and play like they did last night. And they were trailing that game too. Let's be honest. That was as good as the game he had. Your defense had a problem. I mean, the game was over in the first half. I mean, I thought that was going to be kind of a run kind of first kind of game with these teams. They still got the problems. So
they do. A lot of people were looking for that Atlanta offensive breakout performance, giving the dynamic playmakers they have on offense.
Yep.
Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. I mean, all over the place. The kid who got the touchdown in overtime, Daryl Hodge. But the key was it was pretty much a must-win game for Atlanta last night.
Yes.
If they had lost to Tampa, they would have been multiple games behind only 5 weeks into the season. Guess what? Now they're tied. And, again, they're not going to exceed expectations because everybody expected them to win the division.
Yes. And now, listen, next time they play, it'll be in Tampa. It's outside. Let's see how they do outside of the dome.
Yeah.
Cousins is a dome guy. He's been in Minnesota for the last however many years. Now he's in Atlanta. John Putnam, good to see you, fella. Hey, guys. For Victor, how is Greg DePalma since the storm hit up that way? I was in Carolina last week, so this is for you.
Appreciate you asking, John. Greg DePalma is our Playbook podcast guy, and lives in Asheville. Back in business as of late this week. He's going to be just fine. Our other two staff members are Kathy and Charles. They're the ones that actually put together our Playbook Football newsletter. We send them all the data, all the numbers, all the stats. They're the ones that make it such a pleasant, readable experience, our Playbook Football newsletter. For them, things were a lot worse. They lost their power for a week, food, water. They've relocated to the South Carolina area and have been working overnight now for a couple days, along with Mark, to get our newsletter out. They're going to be okay, but it was rough for a while there. And again, we appreciate the comments, Sean, and for all of our fans out there on the East Coast, particularly in North Carolina and Asheville, that have suffered a lot of damage. Our hopes, our prayers are out to you guys. Take care, hang in there.
Yeah.
Bet some football. Take your problems away for a couple of hours. Watch some football. But again, we're thinking of you and praying for you up there.
Well, the videos out there are just insane.
Yeah.
So John's like, let's go South Carolina +9 this week versus they're not Tennessee, are they? No, they're Ole Miss, South Carolina.
Just be careful with Ole Miss off that game that they were expected to win last week. They could be looking for a whipping boy.
Eagles is the overrated team, says Ninja.
Yeah.
I want to tell people to take Washington to win the NFC East right now.
I like it. There's obviously some big-time issues with the Eagles. It starts at the top. Then you go to the fact that do we truly have a franchise quarterback? All of a sudden now we're getting, the fact that Jalen Hurts had one really, really good season and, maybe we all thought a little bit too highly of him. But they've got issues on that team and the coaching staff and the coordinators and, again, the quarterback. We've got major injuries as well. But you are absolutely right about that, Ninja. You're not going to get any argument as far as overrated. And, man, I kind of like that. What are the odds on Washington to win that division now?
Division wins. We'll get to Skywise in a second. Hold on. I just popped up the division wins. A division winner. Washington is +250. Dallas is 2-1. Philly minus 120.
Yeah.
Worth $250. I don't know. Put a couple bucks on it. I don't hate it.
Sure.
I knew I should have did that beginning of the year. I'm kicking myself. Saints line down to 5.5. Open at 8 against Kansas City. Monday nighter. Looking at the Saints to be a good dog play. The Kansas City plays to what they play. They don't cover. They don't care about covering games. It seems to be like, oh, they're going to have a good break. Like this is the game they're going to cover in. You keep doing that, you're going to be 6-13 or whatever every year. They do kind of cover sometimes, but it's never when you have them. It's the day you don't play them, they cover, and then you come back the next time. I'm with you on the Saints. I like – give me the Saints. Give me the under. Kansas City got defense first. They lost Rice, big loss. No Pacheco still. I know they got a hunt back there, but I'll take the Saints. Again, are we going to be shocked when this game is like a field goal or a 4-point game?
Right, 20-17, 21-17. But I mean, the injury list is just ugly. You got, Kamara's playing with broken ribs. Chris Olave's in a walking boot. Taysom Hill's got injured ribs. Saints got offensive linemen out. The Chiefs, hell, man. Isaiah Pacheco, you just mentioned. Hollywood Brown, now Rashid Rice. So neither team's playing with a full deck. And again, you do not play for a team to come back off of a bad performance. You just bet against them. And this Chiefs team has not been dominant against anybody this season yet.
No. Baltimore, they got a couple turnovers on the other side of the field. You got some points. You end up holding on. The guy missed out by a toe. I mean, the Bengals game was a nail-biter. The Atlanta game, you should have lost. You tackled the guy in the end zone, no flag. Then you fly cross country, and they play an absolute stinker in that game. I mean, what you want to lay? I mean, basically just say here, right, Victor, it's like you got to think this is a touchdown, right? Do you think the Chiefs win by a touchdown? I don't think so. No. Take the dog. Chiefs have played a good game all season. Yeah. Here they'll eventually have to play a complete game. No, we'll keep betting on that. Truth, you've heard me say this all the time. Hope in one hand, poop in the other. See what fills up first. Send me your address. I'll send you some nice Dr. Squatch soap for your hands. Poundits in the house. You complain about everything. Yes, I do. You're nonsense eating with Chicago pizza and extra wet wings. Here we go. I sent Detroit Lenny. It was a picture. It was for some pizza. It was called Motor City Pizza. Some disgusting Detroit-style pizza at Costco. It's that kind of nonsense. Yes, and the wings have to be wet. Only if you're throwing hot sauce on them. Because then you get poured blue cheese on them. Ryan Page, my guy. Do you think Georgia covers the big spread after they got beat by Alabama in a crazy game? Probably, but Georgia's a team. I don't think they have to. You don't have to. You don't need sexy style points now. So they can win by 20. They can win by 4. If it's a close game, it's gonna be like, wow, are these guys? What's going on with them? Because they played a close game before Alabama, a close game after they lost to Alabama. Maybe they get some question marks, but I'm not going to lay it with Georgia. You got any thoughts on this one, Victor?
Not much of a look ahead. I think Georgia has Mississippi State on deck. I know this is Georgia's homecoming game, if that means anything, but there is a stat I have where they have not actually done very well. 1-7 now, last 8 rolls as conference favorites of 21 or more, and they're right around 22 in this game. So, no, danger sign laying the points with Georgia.
I'm going to say, like, from the standpoint of boosters and betting, you covered against Clemson, nothing since. Do you think you better take care of business at home? You want this no money to keep coming in, fellas? We got to fatten up our account. So go in here, beat this Auburn team by 30, and let's get on with it. That would be my angle on that, Rye. If you think the boosters I got the ear of Kirby say, run this up. Homecoming, I get it. It's party time. Here's my guy, Tooch. Good to see you, Tooch. John Putnam says, anything on Arkansas, Tennessee? I like the Hogs at 14. I tend to agree with Arkansas. Like that's a coach with Pittman who's he's kind of a hot seat kind of guy. And they brought in Petrino, so that's breathing down his neck, although Petrino's like, I'm just here to run the offense. That being said, they haven't looked terrible. Right? They got some wins. You're going to give me 2 touchdowns? I know Tennessee's pretty good offensively. I would go dog any over here. Right? That's the way you kind of go. Take.
I agree. And Arkansas does have the offense to hang with Tennessee in this game. And one more thing for you, John. This is this week's Playbook newsletter, and let me see if I can cover up most of the stuff. But on the back page, we got Mark's 5-star, 4-star, 3-star newsletter best bets. And let me see if I can zoom in on that. 5-star best bet, Arkansas, plus the points. He's in agreement with you. Should be a fun game to watch.
There we go. Arkansas gets the call. I know people get upset. Me and Jesse Shuley called them Arkansas. Come on, folks. We're having fun here. We're having fun. And look at this. Close it in on the hour mark. Perfect timing. We wrap up with the comments.
Wow.
We wrap up with a nice winner for you. That's a top play right there. You saw it. It's a 5-star. We're closing out with another primo pick there. Before you leave, like buttons, hit it. Here's a little special 3-day package. Get the 4th free. So that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all weekend long football for you. And I don't know. I think there's a couple baseball games going on. I don't know if Victor dabbles in baseball, but I think we have 4 division series games going here. So I'm sure, at least for me, I know I got 3 games up Saturday for division baseball. There you go. Football, baseball playoffs. What more do you want? Here it is. Add to stage. There you go. I'm not even saying anything. I'll just leave it up there for you to read. Nice, colorful. We got graphics. Buy 3, get 1 free. And, of course, if it doesn't show a profit, I think it's free. That's what we do on 3-day packages. So there you go. Make the smart money move, folks. Get on board. gamblersworld.net is our host. Be sure to visit the site. Victor, thanks for coming in. Recapping, over Houston, Buffalo, 23.5 first half for Victor. Marc Lawrence, Miami Dolphins over the Patriots. I'm going under Giants, Seattle, 43.5. I'll be back Monday with Doug Upstone, Chip Trimmis for our usual free pick session. Live Monday Night Live, 7 p.m. Monday Night Bets. If you want to pop in, say hello. I will be there. Have a good weekend, everybody. Good luck to you. Victor, take it easy, my friend.
Thanks, Sean. Take care, buddy.